Hey folks, hang on. You can hear that, and I hope you can. Let me turn down the volume. Yes, I am in the Civic Type R. Oh yeah. And let me tell you guys and girls, this is one amazing car. Seriously. It makes no excuses for what it is. It is just an unbelievably fast car that's road legal. I cannot believe it. Now let's not forget, this car set a front wheel drive Nürburgring record on its first try. So I'm not going to talk about the specs, okay? Everybody knows the specs already. I'm going to talk about what it's like to drive this car on a daily basis, because I went into KL yesterday for an event. And yes, I'm wearing a Honda shirt. I went into KL yesterday for an event, and I got stuck in a hellacious jam. I'm going to put it into 6th and let it, 6th gear, yes, manual, and let it just calm the hell down a little bit, because it's anyway, back to what I was saying. See, my thoughts have all gone completely haywire, because this car really does bring out the juvenile in anybody who's going to drive it. Guaranteed. Okay, that's guaranteed. Not even up for negotiation. So anyway, where was I? Yes, I drove into KL in one of the worst jams. And you know what everybody's saying? You know, everybody wants an automatic car because, you know, KL jams are so bad. And yes, granted, yeah, KL jams are pretty bad. Oh, hang on a second, I need to change the orientation. There we go. There you can see the red seats. Oh, and the red seat belts. So yeah, everybody's saying, you know, get an automatic because KL jams are terrible. And let me tell you something. I got caught in a really bad jam yesterday, and it was fine. Now, okay, granted, I am very used to manual cars, because as you know, I'm very into old school classic cars, and most of them come with manual transmissions. So I'm a bit used to manual transmissions. However, I gotta admit, the clutch on this car is extremely light. Now, it's not as light as the Nissan Lashio. Remember the Nissan Lashio manual? Okay, that one, I almost put my foot through the floorboard. This has a little bit of resistance, yes, but it's not to the point where it's uncomfortable if you have to use it a lot. You know, I got to the event having pressed the clutch at least 100 times in the jam, and my left leg wasn't hurting at all. In fact, I arrived very refreshed and happy, because the trade-off is that you get an amazingly responsive car. This car is so responsive, it is unbelievable. Now, I'm in 6th gear right now. The revs are barely over 2,000 RPM. I'm doing the legal speed limit. Okay, I admit, there were times when I was not. But right now I'm doing the legal speed limit, and it's just cruising along fine. The moment I come up to some traffic, I just press the clutch, put it into 5th. And one really nice thing about the Civic Type R is that it's got rev matching. Now, you know how the heel and toe method works, right? I mean, you keep the revs up while you're changing gears so that it matches the gears that you're downshifting into. Well, the Civic Type R does that for you, so you don't have to heel and toe, even though you possibly could, but let the car do it for you, because the car does it a lot better. I'm in 5th now. I'm going to try and shift into 2nd and see what happens. I'm going to make sure there's nobody behind me. Let's see if it rev matches, okay? You see? Of course, I didn't put it into 2nd gear. I put it into 2nd gear, but I still had the clutch on, and it did rev match. It did absolutely rev match. Now, if I had lifted my foot off the clutch, I'd be peeling my face off the windscreen right now. So, you know, don't do that. It is a manual gearbox. Treat it with some respect, and let the car do it for you. Okay. So now, one of the cool things is that once you have decided, okay, I've had enough of being a nice guy. I'm in 4th gear right now. There's a little digital display here that tells me I'm in 4th. So all I have to do is put my foot down. 4th gear. 4th gear acceleration. I'm up to 150 already. 155. Unbelievable. Rev match. Charge into the corner. Oh, hit the brakes, Brembos. Rev match again. Turn in. Oh. If it was not for these bucket seats, I'd be in the passenger seat right now. I kid you not. Oh prices. Now, please remember this is just a Civic. It's a Civic. And you can use it on a daily basis, no problem. Seriously, no problem. Okay, I'm getting to a toll gate now, so I need to get into the right lane because I'm always doing this. I'm always getting into the wrong lane and causing a little bit of a problem. So, on a daily basis, could you use a Civic Type R? Hell yes. Now, I love the fact that the default mode, thank you, the default mode is Sport. Now, you know, all other cars that I've come across in my tenure of doing this, the default mode is always Comfort. Now, why I said the Civic Type R makes no excuses is that its default mode is Sport. Now, there's also R+. Listen. Oh, when it kicks in. Oh my goodness. Okay, granted, you don't get that VTEC howl anymore. Okay, you get a bit of a whoosh from the turbocharged 2-liter engine. And you know what? That's fine by me. Although I must admit, I do miss that old VTEC sound. The one where it goes, It does. It does. That's what made the boy racers, you know, come in their pants. There's no other way to say it. I mean, yeah, that's what made the boy racers go crazy. That when the VTEC kicked in, you don't get that in this version, of course, but you get a hell of a lot more power. Now let's talk about price. Yes, it's a Civic and it's 301,000 ringgit. It is 301,000 ringgit, but you know what? Every bit of that 301,000 ringgit is so worth it. I tell you right now, it is so worth it. Buy this car. I usually never tell people to buy cars, but if you have the inclination to go on Sunday drives with your friends, to go or just by yourself, you know, I've been driving by myself now for the last few days, and this car imparts so much joy. I absolutely just love driving it. I'm finding excuses to go out and drive it. I'm taking the long way back to wherever I'm going, or to wherever I'm going, I'm taking the long way there. Despite it being a manual, you just really want to drive it. And I think that's one of the beauties about manuals, because there's so much engagement. You know, you don't just put it into a D mode and that's it. You know, this car, you feel like a part of it. You feel like, you know, if it wasn't for you, this car would be nothing. And it's true. I think that's what Honda have done, actually. They've made this car a part of you, which is brilliant. And kudos to the engineers and the designers, because as you can see from the feature image, remember, please go to www.piston.my and have a look at the feature article that accompanies this video. And just look at it. I mean, cars move out of the way because there's no getting around the fact that, yes, the front of it kind of looks like a current generation Civic. I'll admit that. But there's a big ass hood scoop on the front, and people see that and they're like, "Whoa, Type R," you know. Granted, yeah, you could probably go and buy a hood scoop and stick it on your normal Civic SI, but no, you're not. It's not going to work. So just leave your normal Civic the way it is. Save up and buy yourself a Type R. You deserve a Type R. I'm going over rumble strips. The camera moved, but it's not as jarring as you would expect a Civic Type R to be. I remember the previous generation, beautiful on the Sepang track, but the moment you hit the road and you hit any little bumps, ooh, ouch. Not this. This one has been tuned beautifully, absolutely beautiful. I cannot fault this car. I cannot find anything I don't like about it except one thing. Now, maybe it was an oversight, maybe not. Did you hear the rev matching? I'll do it again. I didn't do anything. I was not heeling and towing. It just did that all by itself. The one thing I don't like is that the gear shift, apart from the fact that it's an aluminum gear knob and it does get really hot if you park under the sun, so get one of those sunshades, because you're not going to be able to hold the gear knob if you park for an extended period of time under the hot sun. You won't be able to hold it. You know, keep a cloth in here and maybe then you can put the cloth over it. But it's not actually the gear knob, which is actually quite beautiful, and I'll show it to you in a second without cutting. What I don't like is the fact that when you're driving aggressively, the gear stalk itself is too close to the dashboard. And I have found that shifting into third and fifth, I've actually bashed my hand against the dashboard, my fist against the dashboard quite a few times. And I'll show you what I mean in a sec. Let me just pull over here, and without cutting, I'll try and show it to you very quickly. One thing to remember, the Type R does not have reverse sensors or a reverse camera. If you need that, you shouldn't be driving a Type R. So yeah, just be wary of that. Okay, without cutting, I'm gonna show you what I mean here. Electronic parking brake. Yeah, okay, it's in manual now. There is a brake hold, so you don't have to keep your foot on the brake all the time. So okay, here we go. Sorry about that. That was my palm. So this is the gear knob. Beautiful, and everybody gets one of these to show the serial number. That's the one I was talking about. The R and the plus R, and default mode is sport, and you have to pull it down to go into comfort. Now, this is what I mean about the gear knob. Now, if you're shifting, I hope you can see that. Can you see that? Yeah, okay. If you're shifting aggressively and it's very close. You see what I mean? It's very close. I've actually hit my thumb and fingers against it quite a bit. So that's the brake hold, which I can press right now. And yeah, so okay. Civic Type R, folks. Can you hear that? No, you can't. Hear that? Carbon fiber, suede, beautiful red stitching, and these seats, which are so comfortable. Now, this is not a brand new car. It's already got almost 8,000 kilometers on it, but it is just holding up beautifully. Sorry, my hand again. So yeah, Civic Type R, day-to-day basis, a car that you can use to commute, as well as have incredible amounts of fun on weekends, either with your friends or alone. If they're daring enough, you can bring your family, because yeah, it's a full-size sedan if you think about it. There's back doors, but it is just in a different league altogether from any other Civic that you've ever driven. Don't take my word for it. Go for a test drive. Now, you've got till the end of the month to get this car at 301,000 ringgit, because there's no more GST. And so, you know, take advantage of that, really. You will not regret buying this car. You can use it daily. It's not going to jar the fillings out of your teeth. And on weekends when you're alone and you just want to go for a really nice drive on a quiet, deserted stretch of twisties, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This car, that's all I'm going to say. This car. For 301,000 ringgit, you are getting the kind of performance that would cost you a heck of a lot more if you were looking in the Continental section. Really, honestly. So yeah, nice one, Honda. Very, very nice. I'm so grateful to get this car on test, because it has really brought out the reason why I love doing this job. And I hope you've enjoyed this video. Remember to log on to www.listener.my and have a look at the other stuff that I put on. Remember, these videos are just add-ons and nice to haves for the actual feature article that comes out later. And if you like this video, please give me a like and subscribe. It would be great. I try to answer all the comments that I get, and if I missed it, I'm sorry. Once in a while I miss the notifications, but I always scroll through, and I think I replied one recently that was 4 months old. I'm sorry about that. But anyway, so till the next time we drive again, Civic Type R. Oh yeah. See you guys.